Hello, guys and gals. This is the algorithm rabbit hole. February is upon us, and I wanted to talk briefly about Black History Month. If you're like me, you've always known about Black History Month. You've probably done things to celebrate it, but I want to share a bit of the history. So Carter G. Woodson was a scholar whose dedication to celebrating the historic contributions of Black people led to the establishment of Black History Month. Carter was born to former slaves Anna Eliza Riddle Woodson and James Woodson on December 19th, 1875 in New Canton, Virginia. As a child, he worked as a miner and a sharecropper to help his family. He was the fourth of 7 children and did not end up starting high school until the age of 20. But he did finish the 4 years worth of study in less than 2 years. He went on to study history in college, earning his bachelor's and master's degree at the University of Chicago. He was the second African American to earn a doctorate from Harvard. The story of Black History Month begins in 1915. Carter G. Woodson, along with many colleagues, traveled from Washington, D.C. to participate in a national half-century exposition and Lincoln Jubilee held at the Coliseum in Chicago from August 22nd to September 16th, 1915, which celebrated the 50th anniversary of emancipation of enslaved Africans in America. Thousands of African Americans traveled to attend the event, including religious leaders and their congregations and state delegates. That September, the Harvard-trained historian and a prominent minister, Jesse E. Moreland, founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, ASNLH, which is now ASALH, Association for the Study of African American Life and History. This is dedicated to researching and promoting achievements of Black Americans and others of African descent. 4 months after the creation, the first Journal of Negro History was published. Woodson left the Jubilee inspired and wanted African American contributions to be celebrated more widely. What started as a Negro History Week in 1926 evolved into a month-long celebration in 1976, which is what we now know as Black History Month. During the mid-1960s, and especially when college students demanded courses on African Americans and led protests demanding Black Studies departments, there were calls for extending Negro History Week into a month-long celebration from such groups as the Pan-American Pan-African Association in Washington, D.C., and the students at Kent State University in Ohio, and from local communities throughout America. ASALH sought recognition from the federal government in the belief that it was important for our nation to set aside the month of February in official observance of African Americans' contributions to the history of the United States and the world. The first official observance came in February 1976 from President Gerald Ford. He told Americans to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. These words brought Black History Month to the world stage and paid homage to Woodson and ASALH. 10 years later, in 1986, which was also the first year of the celebration of Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday as a national holiday, the U.S. Congress, in joint resolution of the House and Senate, designated the month of February as National Black History Month. The resolution authorized and requested President Ronald Reagan to issue a proclamation in observance. In 1986, the Presidential Proclamation 5443 noted that the foremost purpose of Black History Month is to make all Americans aware of this struggle for freedom and equal opportunity. While many of us recognize the impact of Black history all year long, Black History Month is a symbolic celebration, a time of acknowledgement, of reflection and inspiration. The real-life actions are taking place every day of the year. In 2023, Black History Month's theme is Black resistance. African Americans have resisted historic and ongoing oppression in all forms, from the racial terrorism of lynching to police killings, Black people have had to consistently push the United States to live up to its ideals of freedom, liberty, and justice for all. By resisting, Black people have achieved triumphs, successes, and progress. The work seems to never end. In honor of Black History Month, I plan to bring you videos on interesting accomplishments by the Black community. If you have some in mind, please drop down in the comments and let us know about it. Well, that's all I have for you on this for now, fine people. Be safe, take care of yourself and your loved ones, and have a wonderful day.